Yeah, hi guys, hope you're all well. This is an early dive into 2027. I think I must be mad. Literally 2 days after the 2026 is finished, I've got a selection of horses that I'm already taking a look at for next year. Those horrible bookmakers have priced, so I suppose it's time for me to take a look. Yeah, I really couldn't make my mind up which was the best way of doing this video, whether to go race by race or horse by horse. I've decided to go with the latter. I'm going to talk about the horse, potential targets for next year, and what I think of the current prices that are being offered. So we'll start with one of my best bets of the week last week, King Masco Grey. Immediately after the race, Willie Mullins has said that he's looking at it as a potential champion hurdler for next year. It really surprised me. I had it tapped down as a potential stayer. My initial bets on the horse were on the Turners and the Albert Bartlett, and it wasn't until later in the season when I actually sort of seen he was 66 to 1 for the Supreme, and it had only run over 2 miles at that point, and so I stuck a bet on it again. I ended up having it in all three races. I mean, obviously, I ended up well in profit. It was 33s and 50s. But next year, I just don't know how to call it. I mean, yeah, obviously, Willie knows what he's doing. He's thinking that the step back down from 2.5 down to 2 will suit the horse. He's been beat at grade 1 level at 2 miles, but allegedly the horse wasn't fit at the time. So whether he just thinks he is speedy and when ripe will be perfect for something like the champion hurdle. We've got a long way off to go, but I mean, looking at the betting now, there is a best price of 16 to 1, and he is as low as 8 to 1, probably due to the comments. Um, I thought he might go chasing, so the Oracle is also an option for it. He's also currently 16 to 1, and if, like me, you think the horse will stay hurdling but needs to step up in distance, um, there's always the stayers. Or going back to it, going chasing, there's always the Browns. There's four potential races for this horse. I can't call it. I don't know if 16 to 1 is a great price. My gut feeling, if I was going to back anything now, I would go with the champion hurdle at 16 to 1, because I do think that's a race that is going to be quite open. So just to reiterate, this isn't a tipping video. This is just a thoughts video. I'm just putting out my ideas, potential targets for horses. I'd love for you guys to comment, try and pull together some ideas. I'm not going to call too much on this video that I'm going to back. I will let you know at the end what I have put on anti-post, but for now I'm just sort of almost playing devil's advocate, just giving some ideas. Yeah, so the second horse I'm going to talk about is Copek the Board. Um, I thought it was going to win. It came there, it looked like it was going to win. Lulamba made a mistake 2 out. We know Lulamba stays. It could have been a brilliant race if they both missed those mistakes. And yeah, what a race that would have been. I personally think Kopech would have won. I think it was travelling the best, and I really think it's got a huge chance for next year's champion chase. Currently 5 to 1. I think it's almost joint favourite with this year's winner, Elite Tom. And yeah, my gut feeling is if they race now, I would want to be on Kopech. Just think he's got some engine. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be backing it for next year. The 5 to 1's not making me pull money out of me wallet now, but I don't know. Could I put it in a multiple or some sort of a roll up bet? I don't know. Um, I will touch on Elite Tom, and I really would like you guys to feedback on this. I thought he was outpaced for most of the way. With another year on his back, I wonder if this horse could possibly step up to the Ryanair. Now I know it's going to be really hard for them to take this year's winner and not go back to defend your crown. But if Copek is good as I think it is, They just may want to avoid it, and they may look and think the horse needs a little bit further, and the Ryanair might be a slightly easy race. I don't know. It's all just thoughts. But the difference is it's 9-2 for the champion chase, but you could get 50-1 if that scenario happens. They do step it up. I I'm not going to back it heavy, but I am going to put a little bit on that because I can see that happening. I'm not saying it's going to, just I can. 50-1. What do you need on it for it to be a good day? So yeah, it's just a thought. I'd say, like, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Yeah. So the next one is Lulamba. I think it ran a really decent race in the Arkle, but I also think it ran like a horse that needed further. Everyone who sort of was talking about the horse leading up to the race were all that was their concern, and I think they were right. Um, Still think the if the mistake hadn't happened, it would have been a tight finish. I don't think there'd have been a lot between them, and I do think the horse is really good. So if it comes back to Cheltenham next year, what race will it run in? I don't see it stepping up all the way to a Gold Cup distance like they did with Django. He's not that much of a stayer yet. He could well grow into that. But I would think the obvious race is the 2.5 Ryanair, currently 8-1 for that, and I think that's going to be one of my bets because I think that is still value. And on to the next, Old Part Star. Uh, yeah, I had it 7-1 this year, really pleasing. Ran the race well, but a lot of scrimmaging, and I think it was a decent Supreme. What's it going to do next season? The two races that stand out to me are it either stays hurdling and would line up in the champion, and we're looking at sort of 12-14-1 on that sort of option, or the Arkle if it goes chasing. Um, I think it's a lot more likely that Henderson would run it in the Arkle than it sort of stepping up to something like the Browns. 5-1 for that. That's skinny, in my opinion. We don't know which way the horse is going yet. Keep your eyes out, keep your ears open. If the horse runs again, there'll be comments after the race. Try and get an idea of what the stable are thinking for next season. If I was forced into it, I think there's a good chance it could stay hurdling. And yeah, if it does, then the champion is the obvious race. I can't think off the top of my head what else Nicky Henderson may have for the champion hurdle. Again, comment if you guys can. But yeah, with its performance this year, if it turned up in the champion next year, I think sort of 14-1 would be half of that. So again, that could be a potential bet. Yeah, and on the subject of the Supreme, what a great race it was. And I will give kudos to Sober Glory and My Daddy the Paddy. Both ran really good races. Different circumstances could have seen either of them win as well. Just let you know the prices on them. Sober Glory's 10-1 for the Arkle, 33 for the champion. My Daddy the Paddy 6-1 for the Arkle, and 33-1 for the champion as well. As I said, I didn't think either of these horses would lay a glove on Old Part Star, and they did. They gave it a good race. So I won't be backing either, but I just wanted to get it out there that I thought these two could be worth following as well. Yeah, so the next one is another Mullins horse, and it's Leader Dallier. I put this up for the Supreme. In the anti-post betting, it was in all three of the novice races, the Supreme Turners and the Albert Bartlett. Now, that's not unusual for Willie. He is prone to keeping all of his options open. The fact that they decided to go through the Supreme led me to believe that they thought that currently at this stage of its career that the 2 mile was the way to go. I just really like the way this horse has gone through his races, and I don't think we've seen anywhere near the best of it yet. Of course, it's going to probably turn up at either Aintree, Punchestown, possibly even Fairyhouse. And if it runs like I think it could do, then it's going to shorten for the race next year. Now, what that race is going to be, I have no idea. This is the problem. It could go chasing. It's not had many hurdle runs, but it could go chasing, and is 40 to 1 for the Oracle and 25 to 1 for the Browns. Again, I think purely because it's not run enough for anyone to know what its true distance is yet, or 50 to 1 for the Champion Hurdle. Um, and I don't know. Those prices and the fact that I think the horse could be decent. Is there a case to be made to spread just a little bit of money around on at least two or maybe even three of those races now before the festivals hit and the horses' prices could tumble? I think the fact that I'm still riding high after Cheltenham, I think a small investment on at least one of those races is going to happen. Yeah, next up is Act of Innocence. Nice horse this year. It's got the real stamp of a chaser though, so I think that's the way to go next year. So you're looking at the Oracle or the Browns. You would possibly have to wait to see what they do with Old Part Star first. I don't think they'll run them against each other. Old Part Star is possibly the quicker of the two. So if Old Part Star does go chasing, you can look at Act of Innocence for the Browns, 16 to 1. If it doesn't, then the Oracle at 33s does look a big price. I think you're better off waiting though on both of them, unless you want to chuck a little bit on the Oracle in case I might be right that Old Part Star stays hurdling. I'd like to talk about Jinko Blue next. Great horse. Obviously, I'm saying that because it won me some money. But what they're going to do with it next year is probably going to be too high in the handicap to go handicapping. So it's got two options that I can tell. I can't see it dropping down in distance. So we're looking at the stayers. Showing at the moment is 16 to 1, or it goes back chasing. Anyone who's followed the channel for a while will know I rate this horse as a chaser. I put it up as even a potential Gold Cup horse. So it'd be interesting to see the way they go with that. They could sort of work with its handicap mark and maybe get it into a handicap chase. So he's not actually priced up for any of the big races, but he's just going to be a horse I'd like you all to keep on your radar. Next on my list is Bossman Jack. I thought this horse ran a great race. It's kept out the back. It was wide, turning for home. It travelled as well as anything bar the winner in the turners. It's got a real stamp of a chaser. It could stay hurdling and go for something like the stayers, but I think if this horse jumps as well as I think it's going to be a massive price at 33 to 1 for the Browns, and I'm definitely going to be betting it early. Next up, I'm going to talk about the best mare in training at the moment. Not really. It's Era of Entitlement. She is a good girl though. She won last year for me at 33 to 1 in the Mare's Novice, and then this year at 25 to 1 in the Martin Pipe. And I explained on one of the other videos, I followed her in a few times. Yeah, what she's going to do this year though, I don't know. If she stays hurdling, she could go to the Mare's Hurdle. She's 14 to 1 for that. If she steps up to chasing, which I made suggestions of last year, she's also 14 to 1 for the Mare's Chase, the Miss Paddy Power thing. I don't know. I don't know which way she's going to go. I think 14 to 1 for the Mare's Hurdle is a fair price with the merry-go-round that's happened there over the last few years. A solid horse, 14 to 1 would do me. If she goes chasing though, I will obviously keep her on my side. She's a 2 times Cheltenham winner, and she certainly owes me nothing. Yeah, I'll do the next two together. Django Bay, Gold Cup. I can't see what other race it could possibly go for. They won't drop it down in distance. It will stay in. It got beat by a better horse on the day. Can it reverse the form? It's going to be really hard. Gaelic looked very special, but they don't back up. They don't back up that often. They do. The really good ones do. And I'm just trying to think of ways that Django just might be able to make that distance back. And whether they skip the King George this year, try a different campaign, where they try to make more use of him and try and draw the finishing kick out of the horses like this year's winner, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's definitely a solid horse, and it's 10-1. Wish it was bigger. Obviously, I'd be lumping on, but it's 10-1. I might stick it in a multiple bet, a nice sort of each way multiple bet. I definitely got to do it anyway. And the second one is the Enigma, that is Final Demand. I can't believe this horse hasn't done better than it's done. It's just every time I think about this horse, I just think it's got ability and class, and I do think that we haven't seen the best of him. But I don't know over what distance it's going to be. To me, he was a Gold Cup horse in the making. It's run better at Cheltenham than it did at the DRF. I think it was beat by a horse that was given a superb ride, and possibly this year was a little bit more streetwise. I think next year Final Demand will improve past it, but to what race it's going to go to, I don't know. It's 16-1 for the Gold Cup and 20-1 for the Ryanair, and it's not beyond the realms that they'll just drop this horse back, let him bowl along in front, and just use its speed and stamina to try and win over the sort of mid distance. I don't know. Neither price is jumping out at me. So I'm going to just keep my eye on it, and just if I have to take a shorter price, then I will do when I know more which way this horse is going. I think I used the word enigma too soon, because next up on the list is Ballyburn. That's an enigma. Great horse, talented. I lost for words. I think he should have won this year. The Stayers was unlucky. Couldn't get the run when he needed it. And what's he going to do next year? It's not going back chasing. It's going to stay hurdling. They had the opportunity of running it in the champion hurdle this year. They decided to stick with the Stayers, which I think was the right move. It's 10-1 for next year. I don't know. The horse could run well, as I've been saying about a few horses, could run in one of the festivals still to come, and that 10-1 could get taken up. Or he could get well beaten, and we go, there you go, there's old Ballyburn being himself, and the price is doubled or trebled. It's a gut feeling, and my gut feeling is the horse is good, and I am only 50-50 though on taking the 10-1. Right, bear with me, guys. We're entering the home straight now. I'm down to the last four. First one I'm going to talk about is Feel Gut, or Feel Gui. I'm from Somerset, so it's Feel Gut. And that's already won a race. I'm not sure of the technicalities, but I think it was a junior race, so it does allow it to win that race and still be a novice for next season. I don't know whether it can run in any other races before then. It's something I don't know about, but I watched the race. I've watched it 3 times. Just so impressed with it. Obviously, it's with the right man in Nicky Henderson. You can get prices on it now for the Supreme and the Turners. I don't see it going any further than that. 16-1 for the Supreme and 33-1 for the Turners. I think both are decent prices. I'm probably just going to have a little bit on both. The next one is Bentra Hill. Now, this was my main bet for the bumper this year. It didn't make it. I should imagine we'll definitely see this one running in one of the 3 festivals to come. This is 40-1 for the Supreme and 50-1 for the Turners. In my mind, he was the best of the Mullins horses. It's not gone to the champion bumper. I don't know why, whether it had a problem or whether I've just seen more on the horse than there is actually there. But I'm definitely going to be looking at it for those 2 races. Yeah, the third one is Oh My Word. And I'm not sure what's happened to this horse. It won 2 bumper races. I think one was a graded race, certainly a decent race, listed race possibly. Won it well. Pulled and still found time to finish the race off well. It
stayed in the same ownership but has changed stables. And at one point, it was 10-1 favourite for the Champion Bumper. It gradually drifted. I think there was talk of the horse needing a break, and it's just disappeared. Now, whether it will turn up and run again this season, I don't know. There was definitely a lot of quality in its 2 runs, and it seems to have just disappeared from everyone's thoughts. It's 100-1 for the Supreme, 50-1 for the Turners. The answer is I don't know whether it's good enough to run in either of those two. I've got to keep it in mind because obviously I've put money on it already this year, and I want to sort of keep my eye on it going into next year. I don't know if it's going to be as good as some of the others I've already mentioned, but it's massive prices. I might just have a couple of throwaway each ways on them and forget that I've even done it and just see if he does appear. And the last one is the Morn Rambler, this year's Champion Bumper winner. I did back it at 16-1. It's a horse again. It's going to owe me nothing for quite some time. It's actually favourite with one of the bookies for the Supreme next year, 14-1, and I've seen it's 33-1 available for the Turners. I don't know. I've not looked at any stats. I'm just literally talking about this. I'm riffing really, but I don't think that the Champion Bumper winner necessarily does well the following season in the novice hurdles. Certainly not in the Supreme. I think we've had a couple winning the Turners. So I'm just going to have a little bit of fun with that 33s, and I won't worry too much about the Supreme. The trainer is superb, and he doesn't have many National Hunt horses now, but he certainly knows how to get a hurdler ready. But I also think he's certainly a guy that would get him ready for one race in particular. So I can imagine the prices on this horse sort of jumping around from here, there, and everywhere. So the 33-1 for the Turners could be like just a little solid option, and then just keep your eye on it for the Supreme. It could be the sort of horse that wins first time out and then runs poorly and he's just got ready for one race. I don't know. I think you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so that's all the horses I've got in mind going forward to next year, and let's have a little look and see what bets we're going to put on them.
Right, so I recorded that content on Sunday. It's now Tuesday afternoon. Just goes to show that I do struggle to do this all in one go. I have gone on and placed my bets, and basically I've done the selections I put up, and I've just put them into smaller bets. I've not backed all of them. So yeah, here we go. So basically I've done 3 blocks of 3. I've done each way singles, and in one place I've done a win, but each way singles and each way trixies on these. And I basically coupled them up with the bookmakers where I can get the best prices. So with Uni, I've got Old Park Star for the Champion at 16s, Jinko Blue for the Stayers at 20s, and Bentra Hill for the Supreme at 40-1. The next 3 are Copek the Board for the Champion Chase. That was the win only. Bossman Jack for the Browns at 33s, and Phil Gut for the Supreme at 16s. And then the last 3 were with 365, I think. Leader Dallier for the Arkle at 33s, Air of Entitlement for the Mare's Hurdle at 14s, and Morn Rambler for the Turners. I've not gone crazy on any of these. They're, like I say, this is just a year away, so I'm just having a little bit of fun. I mean, these are going to pay massive if they come up, but I've not wasted a lot of money on them. It's just they're on now. I can forget about them. I can keep my eye on the 3 festivals that are coming up, and I can always revisit these bets if I need to put more on, or if I don't, they're there, they're sat, they're waiting, and we'll see what happens next month.
As always, I'd like to thank everyone who's taken the time to watch. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, keep your eye on Monty Star in the Grand National for me. I did put it up at 50-1. So if yours ain't got a chance of winning, cheer mine on for me. I'd appreciate it. Thanks again, and hopefully I will speak to you all soon.